Welcome to the Orange County School Board regular meeting for this Tuesday, June 27th, 2023. I'm inclined to say this is a really handsome audience. Yeah, you are. But then I'm also wondering, why do we say handsome audience? But pretty would seem, I don't know. So to anybody who took that as a sexist comment, it wasn't. Y'all look great. Let me just go with that. They're good. They're a good-looking group. And we're thrilled to have all of you here. Board members, let me double check because we don't have all board members in present. So I need to do a quick roll call to see who we have. Obviously, Vice Chair Gallo.
Good evening, Madam Chair.
Member Salamanca.
Hello, Chair.
Hello. Member Ferrant.
Good evening, Madam Chair.
Good evening. Member Gould. We'll come back to Member Gould in a moment. Member Felder.
Good evening, Chair.
Thank you. Member Castor-Dental.
Good evening, Chair.
Member Byrd.
Good evening.
Let me try again. Member Gould, are you with us? Okay, I think Member Gould is going to be participating. You'll let me know when she joins us so the minutes can reflect her presence. Thank you, or her attendance. I also want to remind the public that the board members will not be engaging in outside electronic or digital. Is that Member Gould? Yes. Nah, didn't sound
She
like.
was trying to unmute.
Okay. Board members will not be engaging in outside electronic or digital communication during the meeting so that we can focus all of our attention on the meeting itself. To my fellow board members, district staff, and any members of the public that may be speaking, please, to the mic, please make sure your microphones are turned on and speak directly into it so that our YouTube and Orange TV viewers can hear you clearly. And again, for almost a full house, welcome, and we're thrilled to have you participating. We will now begin with a moment of silence. I'll invite you to join us in also the Pledge of Allegiance. And now for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, the bottom of the comma.
There's no comma.
Indivisible.
All right, we have no proclamations that we're recognizing, but I do want to turn the podium or the table to our Deputy Superintendent for any announcements regarding newly appointed administrators.
I'd like you to sit back and relax, school board. We got one or two. And
did you bring popcorn?
Yes.
so here's what I'm going to do. I know that I shared with them to say a couple of different things. Y'all can get out before midnight. I'm going to go ahead and on all of y'all's behalf, I'm going to thank the school board. I'm going to thank the superintendent. I'm going to thank the deputy superintendent. Nah, that's just on me. But I want to thank you all on behalf of every candidate out there so that they can take their time and spend it on their family and any mentors they want to thank. So all of them would get up and say that, but I've saved you about, doing my math, about 13 minutes by doing it for all of them. So if you have practiced and memorized that part of the speech, you got to let it go and start from the next part. So this is just how it's going to be. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. I'll ask you to stand, and there'll be somebody that'll run up to you with a microphone, and we're going to get started. So Tamara Bradford, going from a reading specialist at Olympia High School to assistant principal at Hamlin Elementary.
Thank you so much. I'm very excited to have this opportunity to serve at Hamlin Elementary. I am very excited to begin my journey in administration. I would like to thank Christy Gorberg. She's been my principal for the past 5 out of 7 years that I've been at OCPS, and been a great mentor and supporter with everything that I've been wanting to do and wanting to move into administration. Thank you so much to Dr. Osborne and her staff. I look forward to getting to know all of you and working with you. It's going to be a great year. I am looking forward, like I said, to this new adventure of serving the students, parents, community, teachers. And lastly, I want to thank my husband, who is my biggest supporter and my biggest fan. So thank you.
Awesome. Well done. Well done. Christy Brown, acting principal at Walker Middle, who is now the principal at Walker Middle.
First, I would like to thank Dr. Fritzler for the opportunity. Second, I would like to thank Dr. Bailey and Mr. Linlau for believing in my ability to do the job and the guidance they gave me when making the transition to Walker as acting principal. Third, I would like to thank a few of my mentors, Dr. Bridget Williams, Miss Wendy Ivory, and Dr. Frederick Brooks, who have imparted wisdom and guidance whenever I needed it. Last but not least, I would like to thank my family, my mom, who is here with me today. I look forward to the continued work at Walker Middle School, and at Walker Middle School, we are definitely a first-class family. Thank you.
There you go. And now, Chase Caldwell, who is a resource teacher at Lakeview Middle, who now moves to assistant principal at Water Spring Elementary.
Thank you for this opportunity to serve at Water Spring Elementary, and I'm so thankful for the leaders in the West who guided me, Raheem Jones, Mindy Smith, and Elaine Lundberg. I am so grateful to my incredible mentors, Sherry Donaldson and Jackie Enenfeld, for helping me grow both personally and professionally. And then since I had extra time, Joan Casamento wanted me to talk about her as well. And so another thank you to my family for being here with me today, including my fiance, Karen. And then I'm so happy that Principal Hendricks was able to be here as well. And I'm just excited to get started and really looking forward to making some change at Water Spring and being part of the family.
All right. Jason Cantrell, resource teacher from School Transformation Office, moving to assistant principal at Ivy Lane Elementary.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I also wanted to extend thank you to Mr. Bond and Dr. Wyndham in the STO department, who really welcomed me in and guided me and supported me throughout this process. It's an amazing team, and I'm really grateful that I'm able to continue supporting them in their schools and the great work that they do.
The now infamous Joni Casamento, instructional coach from Pinewood Elementary, moving to assistant principal at Vista Lakes Elementary.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I want to start by thanking Dr. Bailey and Mr. Linlaw for their words of encouragement. I'd also like to thank all of my former administrators, but most recently, that was Principal Fret Bowie and Assistant Principal Levard, for their mentorship and their guidance. It's been truly incredible. I'd also like to thank my mom, who's here today. Thank you. Don't make me cry. Thank you for just being a passionate educator and teaching me that every single day. And I'd like to speak to my new principal, Miss Christy Key. I'm so excited to support you and Vista Lakes and your vision. It's going to be an incredible year, and I have never wanted to fast forward the month of June so badly in my life. I hope everyone has a great evening, and thank you so much, everyone.
And next is Tanisha Davila, acting assistant principal, Chain of Lakes Middle, who's moving to assistant principal at Chain of Lakes Middle. She's going full.
Thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank everyone who supported me in my professional and my personal path or journey to this point that I am here now. Just to say, for starters, Dr. Walker, my current principal, I want to thank you for your leadership and sharing my passion and my commitment to ensuring that every child within our diverse population at Chain of Lakes has an opportunity to be successful. So thank you for that. Thank you for your guidance, your support to me. I want to thank my mother, my husband, Marcy Davila Sr., my entire family, every person that embraced me when I came to this district from Miami-Dade County Public Schools, every person that played such a part in my life. The STO family at that time was led by Dr. Tashonda Brown Cannon. Thank you, guys. I will never forget Miss Julia Jackson. She had a place in my heart. She will always hold a special place in my heart. I miss her. Some of you that know her, you know the impact that she left upon all of us. I want to just thank Dr. Rosie Williams for your support. Everyone, if I miss anyone, Dr. Matt Turner, Tamara Barton Buggs, Orla Vista, the previous principal there. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am forever grateful for all of you. Thank you.
This next individual, I actually gave the night off. He drove up yesterday from Isla Morada to interview, and I do want to mention his name, though, because there's a lot of interest in this. He'll be at our next meeting physically to be introduced, but Christopher Davis, who is an assistant principal at Lake Nona High, is now going to be the principal of the new high school, 50HSC2. So congratulations to Chris. Angela Del Villar, science teacher, Bay Meadows Elementary, now assistant principal at Waterbridge Elementary.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity. I'm really excited to be serving at Waterbridge Elementary School, and I wanted to thank all of the school leaders that have helped me along the way, my mentors, especially Miss Doris and Mrs. Phillips, and my new leader, Dr. Doc. They've encouraged me to pursue leadership within Orange County Public Schools, and I'm really excited. I especially want to thank my family and my daughter, Mackenzie, for all her unconditional love and support, and I can't wait to be a dolphin.
Next up, Christy DePriest, who is an instructional coach at Hunters Creek Elementary, who will now move to assistant principal at Hunters Creek Elementary.
Good evening. Thank you all so much. I've had so many mentors and so many people look up to get to the position I'm in, so I'm very, very lucky. Dr. Martin, thank you so much for your support and guidance, and for whom I would not be standing here today if it weren't for him. Mrs. McMurtry, who has helped me along the way, know what it's like to be an assistant principal. For now, I'm sure that will change in a month. And of course, for my family and my friends, my husband, who is sitting here with me today, it took a lot for him to get here, so I appreciate that. And all of my family at home and friends and cohort who have been by my side this whole time. I'm looking forward to a great school year and supporting everyone at Hunters Creek. Thank you.
Next up, Thomasine Frederick, who's currently a resource teacher at Ivy Lane Elementary, who will now be an assistant principal at Piedmont Lakes Middle.
Before I start, I just want to say Christy and I graduated last year together with our master's degree, and we've been with each other ever since. We're doing this, girl. So, actually can't see with my glasses. So first of all, I want to say thank you to my mentors, Dr. Marcy Matthews and Darius Adams, for their guidance, their love, their support, their push. I want to say thank you to Ms. Gaucher, Ms. Linaw, Ms. Galbraith, Mr. Danner, Sir. He's amazing. Thank you for seeing the leadership qualities in me. Dr. Brown Cannon, Ms. Leftakis, and Dr. Ray, I will forever be grateful for this opportunity. To my Ivy Lane family and my amazing coaching colleagues, you are an inspiration. Thank you, Mr. McKinney, Cunningham, Jackson, Stephanie, Dr. Blanche, Dr. Little, and UCF TQP, Dr. Booker, Beckett, Dr. Atkinson, Dr. C. I know a lot of doctors. Sam, my interns who are here today, thank you for surprising me. Thank you for your support. Trissy, Cola, and everyone that I could not name. Finally, I would like to thank my family and friends in the Bahamas. I hope you are watching. It all begins and ends with family. I love you, Mom and Dad. To Glendy Hamilton, who keeps me held down in prayer and support, I am grateful. Lastly, my heart and my life outside my body, Leah Olivia Hamilton. Mommy is proof that you can do anything. Thank you very much.
Next up, Constance Gary, who's moving from acting assistant principal at Whispering Oak Elementary to assistant principal at Whispering Oak Elementary.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to say how thankful and grateful I am for this opportunity to continue to serve at Whispering Oak Elementary. Thank you to all of my former administrators and mentors, especially Latricia Pender, Tony Buxton, Tabitha Brown, and Dr. Rivera. Thank you for your support, Dr. Jones and Mindy Smith. And last, but thank you to my current principal, Mr. Montgomery, for his welcoming and supporting me into the Whispering Oak community. And last but not least, thank you to my family who's watching from Fort Myers. Hi.
Ashley Maria Glover, acting assistant principal, Citrus Elementary, who is now full-time assistant principal at Citrus Elementary.
Good evening. I'm so happy to be here. It's been a long time coming, but I made it. I would like to first say I'm happy to be a part of Citrus family and to join such a great school. I would like to thank my principal, Mr. Walker, for taking me under his wing. As assistant principal, this is not an easy thing, but if you have a great principal, they can really support you and help you take you to the next level, so I'm grateful for that. I would like to thank all of my mentors. There's almost too many to mention, but I would definitely thank Dr. Jones, Mindy Smith, Elaine Lundberg for all of their support in the West and just continue to help us grow as educational leaders. I want to thank my parents who are here with me today. I almost lost my dad in March, so I'm so grateful he gets to experience this moment and be here with me. And thank you.
Ashley Marie Golitz, moving from acting assistant principal of Wolf Lake Middle to assistant principal, Wolf Lake Middle.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve at Wolf Lake Middle School and in the Apopka community. I'd like to thank a few of my mentors, retired Lake County Principal Rob McHugh for seeing leadership potential in me so very early on in my career and for continuing to provide support over these last 13 years. To Jackie Ramsey, Principal at Dr. Phillips High School, this would literally not have been possible without you. Thank you for putting me in a position to learn and grow at the start of the 22-23 school year. To Dr. Rosie Williams, who is here tonight, thank you so much for your mentorship and guidance through this process. Your support was invaluable to me and a lot of other people in this room, so thank you. To all my former students who laid the foundation for me to grow into this position and learn as an educator before moving into leadership. To my new principal, Cindy Haupt, thank you so much for taking me under your wing and giving me so much daily guidance, for answering my thousands of questions and putting up with my extraness on a daily basis. I'm so excited to serve alongside you and be a member of the Wolfpack. To my family and friends for their support during this transitional school year for me. To my husband, Jeff, and my son, Mason, who are here, thank you for always being my biggest fans. And finally, to my mom, who I know is looking down and smiling. She passed away 6 weeks after I started my first year teaching. So this one's for you, Mom. I did it.
Next up, Stephanie Gray, program specialist from Curriculum and Digital Learning, who is moving to assistant principal at Pine Hills Elementary.
I have a list. I have to read it. Thank you so much for this opportunity to serve at Pine Hills Elementary School. As a proud graduate of Maynard Evans High School, I am honored to be back in the Pine Hills community to serve our students. I look forward to working with Principal Smothers in a new capacity to cultivate our team to greatness. I would especially like to thank Dr. Raheem Jones, Mindy Smith, Rob Bixler, Dr. Russo, Dave Gorham, Principal Smothers, Janice Brennis, Allie Dennis, Victoria Lim, Dr. Asia Wilkins, Lene Wilcox, and the CDL team. I would also like to thank my husband, Richard Gray, my parents, Robert and Grace Miller, my sister, Robin, my 2 extended sisters, Brittany and Dashi, who are here with me today, and my friends and family that are watching me online. Thank you for always believing in me and reminding me of my purpose. Thank you.
Amber Green, who's moving from an acting assistant principal at Lake Weston Elementary to the assistant principal at Lake Weston Elementary.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here today and even more excited to be able to continue the work I started just 3 months ago at Lake Weston. I'd like to thank all that have supported me on my journey, including some of my mentors, Katie Pearson, who under her leadership I knew I was ready to be an AP. Thank you to Dr. Wyndham for guiding me through the process to transfer over to Orange County. Thank you to Principal Rivera for welcoming me to Lake Weston. I've learned so much from you, and I'm excited for what's to come with our Mustangs. Lastly, thank you to my family, my mom, and my aunts who are known as the old lady gang in my family. They are always here with me and supporting me, and I'm so appreciative of their love and support. And special shout out to Ms. Felder, who was my 9th grade English teacher.
Aww.
Thank you.
Next up, Tani Harris, acting assistant principal at Lake Nona High, moving into assistant principal at Lake Nona High School.
Thank you. I just appreciate the opportunity to continue to do the work that we've been doing at Lake Nona High School. I appreciated working there last year and continuing to work next year in a new capacity and serve the community that we do is just a blessing. I'd like to thank half of our admin team that's here with us, with me. They have been supportive and with anything from learning Skyward or just really anything. I appreciate them very much. To our principal, Ms. Campbell, thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Jordan Hudson, a resource teacher from Water Spring Elementary, who is going to be assistant principal at Sunset Park Elementary.
I'd first like to say thank you so much, Dr. Armbruster, for the opportunity. Then I'd also like to recognize my mentor, Mr. Andrew Jackson. Excuse me. I've known him since I was in high school, and he has guided me along the way, and was one of the many reasons why I got into teaching to begin with. I'd also like to thank Mr. Dr. Samuel Ashley, Bradley Schreffler, and Brian Sanchez for their support in me coming here and being getting along this path to become an assistant principal. I'm so thankful. And I finally want to recognize my new principal, Dr. Price at Sunset Park, and this wonderful opportunity to serve our students and to continue the awesome work. Go Eagles.
Next up, Kristen Iannuzzi, acting assistant principal at University High School, who will be moving to assistant principal at Wekiva High School. I want to say thank you for her. She's one of my mentees, and she's not in town, I don't believe, so I should have had that checked on my list. So thank y'all. Amanda Jones, program specialist from ESC Policy and Procedures, who is moving to assistant principal at Arbor Ridge School, K-8.
Okay, there are a lot of people in this room that I could thank. 22 years with the OCPS started with Stacy Price and John Wright many, many years ago. So I want to thank them. I want to thank my innovation family. I see JGL way in the back, and John Wright, as well as Dr. Fritzler, for giving me this opportunity. Vanessa, for seeing what I'm able to do. And my kids, who I do everything for. I knew I would cry. I have 4 girls who have seen me through 2 graduate degrees to do what I love to do. And they put up with the hours and the stress and the complaining, and my husband too, who also works for OCPS.
Sorry, Jimmy. Sorry.
Sorry. But I knew I would cry. I'm just really grateful for the opportunity. I've been with the ESE department for the last 2 years. I've learned a lot. I've met a lot of people. I'm sure I forgot a lot of people because I worked in innovation and it was every learning community. But thank you all.
All right, I just got to say for a minute, I've watched the girls grow up on Facebook, so I just, it's just the way it's going to be. So, all right, Will King, who is a resource teacher at Dr. Phillips High, is now the assistant principal at Winter Park High.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve at Winter Park High School. I'd like to take the time to thank Jackie Ramsey at Dr. Phillips for her guidance this past year. I'd like to thank my new principal, Matt Arnold, and his administration for their welcome so far. I look forward to working with all of you. I'd like to thank my wife and my family for their love and support. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them, and I'm excited to be a Wildcat.
Cheryl Moody, who's moving from acting assistant principal at Orla Vista Elementary to assistant principal.
First, I would like to thank my two little ones here, Liam and Connor, for continuing to support me as I start this new journey. I would like to thank my family, my sister Leah and her children. They are my biggest cheerleaders. I also would like to thank my West Ridge family for all the love and support and belief in me and my ability to serve in this capacity. I would like to thank the principal, Principal Lawrence, and the SCO team for choosing me. I look forward to serving in my new capacity as an assistant principal. Go Jaguars.
Next up, Yamilet Navarro, who is acting assistant principal at Discovery Middle, who will now move to assistant principal at Discovery Middle.
Thank you to Ms. Jenny Gibson and Mr. John Wright for the chance to serve as an assistant principal. Thank you to Mr. Aldrich, my principal, for giving me the opportunity to work alongside you and Ms. Kushner to serve the Discovery Middle School community. I would also like to thank all the school leaders that help and mentor me through this process. Lastly, I would like to thank my husband, Benjamin Navarro, and my two boys for their continuous support. Thanks.
Christine Paris, acting assistant principal at Weatherby, moving to assistant principal at Weatherby Elementary. That's not bad, though. Leonard Smith, program specialist, secondary social studies, moving to assistant principal at the OCPS Academic Center for Excellence. And this gentleman was actually approved at the last board meeting, but was out of town, and I asked him if he would come back. This is Steven Sabasis, who's was acting principal at Timber Springs Middle and is now the principal at Timber Springs Middle. So I wanted him to have a chance to be here.
Thank you, Dr. Armbruster, for the invite back. Excited to be here. I want to thank Dr. Fritzler to start, as she has been my mentor really this year, and has helped me grow into this role, and I'm very excited about being able to serve the Timber Springs Middle School community. I want to give out a shout out to my folks who came with me from Timber Springs as they're here to support. I want to thank my family who couldn't be here. Actually, they're still on vacation. That's the life of having a wife who's an educator. They are in Texas, so I know they're watching. So I love you, Melissa, and the kids, Anna, Allison, Zachary. Thank you guys for all your love and support. And I want to thank all of our mentors that we've had, just going through these years in what used to be the East Side, but having John Wright and Mr. Martinez and Dr. Bradshaw, all of our great leaders that we've had, and a special shout out to the students at Timber Springs and the staff who have helped build me into, I feel like the leader that I have come into today. I think Amanda, Jones started with this. I get that little bit of emotion there, so I'm gonna blame you, Amanda, on that, because I feel that emotion too. But I'm super excited, and I'm going to say for my staff and our school and our community, go Wolverines.
Kristen Spencieri Hughes, resource teacher at Lake Whitney Elementary, moving to assistant principal at Lake Whitney Elementary.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I'd like to thank Dr. Vasquez for hiring me for OCPS 20 years ago. I'd like to thank Dr. Crabb, principal at Lake Whitney, for being an amazing mentor and leader to help shape me into the person I am today. I thank my husband and family for sticking by my side and being so supportive as I've grown as an educator. I thank Lake Whitney staff, students, and family for your support, and I look forward to continuing to work together to close achievement gaps, increase student learning, and make a difference in education. Thank you.
Jessica Starrett, instructional coach, Freedom High, moving to assistant principal at Clay Springs Elementary.
I'd like to start by thanking Lakeisha Miller and Meredith Leftakis and Dr. Armbruster for making this transition so welcoming. My new principal, Rebecca McDade, who I met on Friday at First Watch, which was amazing. My Freedom High School family of 10 years, you guys know I love you. My principal, Cheryl Neely, who developed me and invested a lot of time to get me here. My mentor, Jessica Smith, when she left Freedom High School, she said she would never be gone, and she isn't. She's texting me right now. My husband, Damon, and our family, that's these really good-looking kids back here, all four of them, for sitting around the kitchen table and always listening to my stories about my career. So thank you.
Next up, Nicholas Tatarka, Dean at Lake Nona High School, is moving to assistant principal, Lockhart Middle.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to thank you for the opportunity to serve at Lockhart Middle. I'm very, very excited to have my first assistant principal gig here in OCPS. I moved from Lake County, and OCPS has been incredibly welcoming since I've been here. The team at Lake Nona High School has been great. Teaching me and helping me, especially Mr. Morser and Principal Campbell. They've really helped me along the way. I also want to thank my family, my wife and my two kiddos who are here. They always kind of keep me grounded when it can be a crazy gig. You know, education can be a crazy thing, and my wife's also a teacher, so she can relate. And again, just like keep us grounded and moving forward. I just want to say I'm really looking forward to working with Principal Henderson and helping her achieve her vision for Lockhart Middle and support the staff and students over at Lockhart Middle. So thank you so much.
Cassandra Trotman, acting assistant principal, moving to assistant principal at Lake Silver Elementary.
I see my students. Oh my gosh. I'm thankful for this opportunity to serve at Lake Silver Elementary School. I'd like to thank Meredith Leftakis, Dr. Ella Thompson, Lakeisha Miller, Jessica Smith, AP Shalene Kennedy for helping me transition from instructional to administration in the middle of the school year. Thanks to my mentors, my forever principal, Megan Rivera, who gave me many opportunities to unleash my potential, to Jared Scott and Janine Carney, and my many other principals, teachers, and students I've worked with and who have helped me on my journey to this point. To my family, my OCPS educator husband, Eon, and to the 4 people who told me that I should be an AP years ago, my 4 OCPS educated children, Alandria, DJ, Sienna, and Brianne. Lastly, I look forward to working with my new principal, the one and only Nathan Hay, as we work together to continue to make Lake Silver great and the College Park community proud.
Next up, Isis Williams, resource teacher from Lockhart Middle, who will now be assistant principal at College Park Middle.
First, I want to say delayed, but not denied. I'm thankful for this opportunity to work and serve at College Park Middle School. I want to thank my mentors, Marilyn Doyle, Shanita and Darius Adamson, Sanjay Brown, Samuel Danner, for answering the call whenever I pick up and call like, hey, I got a question. So thank you for that. And to my current principal, Farrah Henderson, who is in Europe watching online. Along with my North Learning community, I want to thank you for seeing in me what I didn't, well, I saw it in myself, but thank you for giving me that extra push. To Lakeisha Miller, thank you for telling me, fill out the application, girl. So thank you. To Meredith Leftakis and Jessica Smith in the North Learning community, and those who have helped along my leadership journey. Lastly, I want to thank my mom and my daughter, Ariana, for all of your support. You're my biggest cheerleaders. And to my friends that are here, Lisa and Joelle and Andrew, thank you for giving me that push and saying, you can do this. To my sorors of OAC, DST, and my family and friends that are watching online, thank you. I made it. Go Bulldogs.
And I believe last but certainly not least, Amanda Wise, Program Specialist, Preschool Diagnostic Intervention Services, Assistant Principal, Sunrise Elementary.
Thank you for the opportunity to serve at Sunrise Elementary. I too graduated last year with Miss Thomasine and Miss Christine. So hi, everybody. Nice to see everyone here. I would also like to thank my mentor, Dr. Lee Austin, for believing in me and supporting me along this journey. I would also like to thank my mom and dad, who I know are watching and cheering me on from home right now. And also Miss Jenny Gibson and Principal Brinzo for this opportunity. And most importantly, my loving husband for supporting me along the way. Thank you.
And before I turn it back with so many, did I miss anybody? Did I? Oh, okay. Chair Jacobs.
All right, thank you. So, Deputy Superintendent Armbruster, I can't tell you how much I enjoy, and I can tell from the smiles on everybody's faces how much we enjoy this celebration. And I'm so glad that you and the superintendent have continued this tradition. It was terrible when we were in the middle of COVID and we would make these announcements and nobody would be in the room, because there's just so much joy from, one, seeing your joy, but seeing the appreciation to the people in your lives. We have some tough meetings sometimes, and pre-agenda can be tough, and you come right after that, and no matter what kind of mood I might be in, as soon as you all start talking, it just lifts my spirits. One of the things I absolutely love about OCPS is the mentoring culture. It's maybe that happens in other school districts, but I've never worked any place where that's been a culture like it is here, and it's so awesome to see. So, one, I'm really excited for all of you. I can't wait. Well, all but one. The new vice principal from Lockhart. Sir, you want to stand for just a minute? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. But I think you missed the pre-agenda meeting. And there were a lot of speakers about Lockhart and what's happening off campus, not on campus. So, just you're up to the job. I know you're up to the job. We had a large crowd of concerned neighbors where people are parking in their neighborhood where they shouldn't be parking, and students behaving the way they shouldn't be behaving. And anyway, after hearing all that, when we heard that you were being appointed, I don't know about anybody else here, but I was thinking, oh, poor man, pray for him. but. It's a great school, and it's a great community. And it's got a great community that surrounds it. And so we are all going to work together and make it work out. And we're thrilled to have you in the leadership role that you're going to be in. It will be great. It will be great. It will be great. All right. Anyway, that's all. And wait, one other thing I want to say. The folks that weren't able to come, you mentioned there was somebody that you invited him back because he couldn't make it. Please invite them back, because I don't want to miss the opportunity, one, to celebrate them, and two, to just enjoy hearing their stories and who has impacted their lives. And I forget your name, but you and your daughter in the front. Oh my gosh. What a wonderful relationship. Yeah. So anyway, it's all about relationships. That's what life's about. And whether it's family or coworkers or our students, it's all about relationships. And you all embody that. So keep up the wonderful work. Let me go to Member Bird. Member Bird? You going to stay in at Lockhart?
District 7 is a little piece of heaven.
Yes.
We're glad to have you. It's going to be fantastic.
It will be fantastic. It will be fantastic. It's all about collaboration, and we're going to improve the situation to the best that we can help it. Member Salamanca?
I just wanted to say congrats to everyone. And, I'm a student of the district. I grew in the district K through 12. I wanted to give a special shout out to Sabasis, my geometry teacher at Timber Creek High School. It really comes full circle.
Wow, yeah.
And it's just, I'm excited for my district, some of the leaders that I'm sad Chris Davis is not here. I am so much looking forward to working with him on a brand new high school in the Lake Nona community, High School 50. And I just want to speak to administrators on how big of a difference you can make in a student's life. I remember some incredible, I grew up with John White, such an incredible principal, and Timber Creek still to today has such strong community and leadership team who has supported each other through their own professional journeys, and you see this incredible leadership now. Padawano up here with us in the district, and it really has ripple effects, the work that you do with your teachers, with your APs and everyone else. And so from the student perspective, we see it makes a huge difference in the culture of a school. I remember perfectly when I was in the different schools I went to. I think I went to 7 total in the district, including Discovery Middle. I was there for 1 year before Avalon Middle opened. So just congratulations from the student perspective on a really huge milestone, and not to forget how much it means to us students to have really great leadership that impacts the culture of the school. So thank you for that.
Member Felder.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, a shout out to my former student. I can't tell you how proud I am when you've taught students and they follow in the path of education and they succeed. To those of you and my sorority sister, Isis Williams, we're so proud of your work and all of you. I'm so glad that Deputy Superintendent, that you all decided to let the board see those persons that were becoming principals and assistant principals. So it helps when we can put a face to the name, but not only that, to hear your gratitude. Public education is not hard. I'm keeping it real. It's not hard. I mean, it's not easy. It's hard. It's not easy. It's hard. And we know that when you made that decision, it was more than the dollar bill, but it had to be a passion that drew you, and for you to stay as long as you're staying. And those of you that are experiencing upward mobility, you grow where you're planted. That speaks volumes. And I am so grateful that education chose me. I didn't understand what my mother was telling me and what she kept. My mother was passive aggressive, and she continued to steer me toward education, and it's making some sense right now. So I am so grateful for your commitment, and those of you that may be in situations that may be challenging for you, I hope you know that this board that's sitting up here, that we support you. I need you to understand that. I need you to know that we are in support of your success. No matter what you thought or been told, you need to understand that we're in support of your success, and we want you to succeed. And it did my heart good to hear how you began to thank your mentors and the people that helped you along the way and your former principals. That means a lot. That means a lot. So I'm wishing you the best with this 23-24 year. Those of you that are in District 5, where the talent yet resides, I'm so grateful for you. And God bless all of you. Thank you.
Member or Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In District 1, we have fun and we get things done. I'm just saying. I just want to thank everybody in District 1 who was appointed. I know Sunrise. I'm hoping I don't miss anybody. Sunrise. We had Discovery, East Lake. We had Arbor Ridge, and then Timber Springs. And I congratulated Mr. Sabasis during the last board meeting, but I got to tell you, I'm thankful for Patty most of all, because if he didn't become acting principal, I would have had to go into a witness protection program. I would have been in hiding. So I'm very thrilled for all the appointments. For those of you who are already in District 1, I'm so happy for you. For those who moved into District 1, welcome, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Member Ferrant.
Good evening. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Miss Brown at Walker Middle School and Miss Supri at Hunters Creek Elementary, and anyone else I might have missed. But I'm so excited to have you all in these leadership roles. I know that no matter what obstacles or challenges you might face, I believe you will lead with courage. And truly, if there's anything I can do to help you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. Excited to have you guys join in this capacity.
Member Ferrant, before you finish, can you tell the audience where you're calling in from?
Yes, ma'am. I am in El Salvador, currently doing missions work. We're working on an orphanage that my husband and I are starting. So very exciting.
Thank you. I do believe that's the furthest away any school board member has called in from. Okay, Member Castrodeno.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and congratulations to all of our new administrators. I want to thank you all for stepping up. I taught in OCPS for 15 years, and I would consider sometimes, do I want to be an AP? Do I want to be a principal? And I'm like, nope, do not want that. That is not for me. That is for a special kind of person. So I appreciate that you all recognize that you have the skills and are willing to do that. And I also recognize the sacrifice it takes to prepare yourselves for that role in time and time away from your families and getting your higher education. And I appreciate that investment that you make in yourselves, because you pour it into your schools, and we can't do our important work without that. And I really liked the enthusiasm that you all displayed in these new roles, and I know you're going to need that energy because there will be challenging times. But I was heartened by the fact that there are already so many networks of support already evident in whether you went to school together or you work together or you have mentors that are still around. That's great because you're going to continue to need them. And I appreciate your willingness to continue to learn from your mentors and then become mentors yourself. So we understand, the board, I can speak for the board, we understand it's a difficult job. We're not expecting perfection. Just give it your best and do what's right for children, and we will support you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gill.
And go College Park and Lake Silver. We have worked so hard on our College Park schools and Lake Silver, and I'm so happy that we have such great leadership coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Castrodeno. Member Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. I'm actually buzzing in for a different reason, but I will go ahead and add on to what my board members have already said. They've said so well. We appreciate you. We are so thankful for you. And I want to also emphasize how important you are to our students and your role creating that positive culture of that school for them. It makes all the difference in the world. I mean, you can tell it when you walk in a school that have passionate leaders that like all of you are. And so we are so thankful for you. And I'm really thankful for your families that are here to support you, for the sacrifice that they make, because it is, as it's been said, it is not an easy job to be an administrator. And I know the hours that are put into that position, to those positions. So we are thankful for your families as well for supporting you the way they do. So thank you so much.
We'll come back to you on the other in just a minute.
Okay,
Let me
thank
hear
you.
from Member Gould. Member Gould?
Thank you, Chair, and congratulations to all of the new administrators. The West is still the best, and I look forward to working with you and seeing you all as we start a new year. So thank you for your dedication.
Thank you, Member Gould. I just want to follow up very quickly on Member Byrd's comment. I'm sure you've heard this before, but she's absolutely right. You set the culture, you keep the culture, and I'm sure you've heard the saying that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So never underestimate the power that you have to create that culture, and the impact that has on our students is just amazing. So, Member Byrd, we wanted to ask if we could get all of our honorees up here for a picture. Can we pause on what you have? Okay.
Yay.
All right. Let's give this a try.
Tall people back.
Oh, there he is. Oh, thank heavens we have Frank. Oh, God. I thought he wasn't here.
All the appointees tonight, if you'll come up here to the front, we'll get you lined up and we'll have a group shot. You're the first herd to come through here like this. This is amazing.
No one has ever done it like this.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right.
Thanks for coming. Any word on?
Right here.
Hey, my baby, I'm so proud of you. Oh, my God.
There was someone's teacher and then someone's student.
I know. It's so neat.
Isis, come by her name so she can do, Karen Cassidy,
Good, you're gonna shingle, so this side's gonna shingle in that way, and this side's gonna
I got a shot for that, I thought.
You're good.
For the shingles.
Oh my God. Two.
You
need another one.
I got two of them. No, I had to get it because of the thing I went through. Well, that too. But yeah.
We should do a crazy shot. Oh, look at her. Oh,
my God. Oh, be careful.
Gosh, I looked like that right before I fell off the steps.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Oh, nice. Rule followers. Great.
She's in the picture.
Happy on three. Good. 1, 2, and 3. Stay there. Look amazing. Hold on. Let's do that again. People with cell phones, hold out for a second. One more. Everybody give me a ta-da.
Yay!
Ta-da with meaning.
Yay!
Hang out for your friends and family.
Okay.
Oh, look over there.
In the middle. Click, click. Look over there. Click, click, click. Back. Still have the camera.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, can
Oh.
you let them wait until
All right,
after I
so-
do mine?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just let them wait till after I do mine.
Oh, okay.
And then you can let them go.
All right, everybody, hold on. Hold on 1 more minute for Member Byrd, and then I promise you can go home. Member Byrd, fast.
Oh, well, it's not going to be Fast. I have a recognition. A student
Oh, and you want them here for the... Okay, never mind. It won't be fast. But stay for a minute.
Just one more minute. I'm sorry. I'm taking a point of personal privilege, Chair, if that's okay.
Absolutely, go for it.
I want to take a moment to recognize a remarkable young man, and now I lost him. Wait, where is he? Oh, there he is.
He knows who he is.
His name is Colin Poon. He is here tonight with his dad. He is a student at Apopka High School, and he reached out to me earlier this month through an email, which I've shared with all of you up here on the dais. In this email, he gave an impassioned and well-educated request that we consider including sun safety, UV ray, and skin cancer education into the course curriculum for biology and health courses within OCPS. I'd like to just read one little section of his email so you can understand why I was so impressed. He said that skin cancer is one of the most common cancers found within young individuals under the age of 30, according to the American Cancer Society, and the World Health Organization has deemed UV radiation to be in the same category as nicotine, which is taught in health classes in regards to tobacco use prevention. Despite this level of danger, which is elevated due to living in the Sunshine State, I have never received education on the dangers of UV radiation and melanoma, nor the need for sun safety. Then he goes on to talk about that he thought that while UV radiation itself may not be a biology standard, I thought possibly including it within the context of biology as an example of as a way DNA mutates could be possible, since UV rays can change DNA structure and cause mutations, which is required within the course content, as well as skin cancer possibly serving as an example of uncontrolled cell growth. So, as you can see, it was a very well thought out and well put together email. So I was blown away, and I sent it to the superintendent right away. She agreed that it was wonderful, and she sent it to our curriculum department to research. Well, last week, Colin emailed me, very excited, because he was contacted by our fantastic staff in the curriculum department that this will be included in the biology curriculum next year. And they are also strongly encouraging all PE and health teachers to teach sun safety the first week of school. So we often sit up here and we talk about how our future is in good hands, and with this passionate and advocate-minded generation. And I just wanted to share this young man because I thought he was such a great example of that. Because Colin is already a change maker in his community. Children and families will be safer from skin cancer risks for possibly years to come in our area. So I want to just invite him up because I have a certificate recognizing him, and I also, and by the way, he's such an amazing kid. He has emailed me a few times over the years since I've been in office, and he's always so sweet and respectful and has some of the greatest ideas ever. So he is well on his way to leadership. So I have a certificate and a little note for you. Yeah, and let's get a picture too.
Remember, Bird, why don't you go down there? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I would love to.
No, we'll come here.
Yeah.
We'll stand up.
Yeah.
Oh, we are? Okay.
She's going to go down with you. Sorry.
Can I just thank my former principal, Cynthia Hall. She was my Westlake middle school.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, next we have, what is it, a 45-minute strategic plan presentation we need to, no. Y'all are free. We're good. Go home, celebrate, whatever your plans are. I'm teasing. Go. What happened here, I wonder?
I don't know.
I don't think it was like that until a second ago.
It wasn't. I don't know what happened. Oh, there you go.
Huh. Suddenly I looked over and I'm like, huh.
Let me give you my phone number, then text me your name and number, okay? Okay, 407 810 43
Tired.
36. And text me your name and your number. How about I say, wait, tell me what school you in? No, what school you in? Oh, that's good. Lake West is a lot of help. You AP out there?
We're almost there.
You need help. My Sawas, we used to do tutoring out at Lake Weston. And a lot of the kids from Lake Weston, they feed into College Park, feed into Edgewater. Yeah, so we're going to talk. Because there's some things that we may can do to help in that situation. Okay. I know you prepare for the challenge.
Yes, I very similar in Lake County. I think Lake County.
Yeah. Okay, well, okay. Call me, we'll talk. Okay, all right. Okay, baby.
Okay.
We still gotta have a meeting, right?
Yeah, just waiting until. And
Okay, all right, congratulations. Yes. Yes, come on. Want to get with me? You ready? Steve, I didn't know you were in here. I love that. Where's Nicole? Was Nicole here? Who are you with, Nicole? Where is she? Yes. Carmen, how was the funeral? Oh. All right, baby. She's so excited about next year. She will be all right. She was so excited and everything. She'll be all right.
yeah, it's going to be short, but I just need to get everybody back here. Turn this. And then Member Gallo?
I'm gonna be here at 11 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Let's get, this should be quick, right? Okay. Bing, bam, boom?
Yes. Yes, it definitely should be. As long as the committee chair doesn't
What are
talk
you guys
about.
doing Thursday?
What, baby?
There's going to be a walkthrough for the overflow school for Lake Nona. And the construction crew, they're going to do grilling and cook and barbecue.
Thursday?
11:30 Thursday.
I think I got a meeting.
Oh, we got a meeting? All right, well, if you're not doing anything, it'll be 11:30.
11:30 at Lake Nona?
The school that's going to...
The relief school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Where did my phone go? Okay, there it is. All right, Victor, we're going to start in 30 seconds. Victor, we're going to start in 30 seconds.
You know how to clear a room, Jacob.
Yep. Yep. Now it's a strategic plan meeting, and boom, everybody runs for cover. All right, we're back in session. And Dr. Armbruster, let me ask, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair. The matrix for Section 11.01 of the board agenda has been amended to remove item number 10 from the recommended items. This item will be presented to the board for action at a later time. Also, item 15.03 has been removed from the agenda and will be brought back in another time.
All right, thank you. Is there a motion to amend the agenda as requested by the Deputy Superintendent? Okay, thank you. There's a motion. Is there a second? All in favor of the motion to amend the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Member Gould? Are you still with us?
Aye.
Okay, and Member Ferrant, are you still with us?
Aye.
All right.
Madam Chair, for the record, can we get who first and seconded?
I'm sorry, the
Member Castellano.
Dental
first.
and Member
And Gallows.
second. Thank you. And now I'll entertain a motion to adopt the amended agenda. Okay, the motion is made by Member Castellano and seconded by Member Byrd. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Member Ferrant?
Aye.
Member Gould?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Do, Ms. Emble, do you know if we have any members of the public wishing to speak?
We do not have any members of the public wishing to speak in person or on the phone.
All right, thank you. Next up is approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent.
Motion to approve the consent agenda by Member Ferrant, Member Salamanca. Do we have a second?
I second.
Second by Member Felder. All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Member Gould
Aye.
and Member Ferrant.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. We're on non-consent agenda 1701. Request approval to nominate and appoint the Florida School Board Association advocacy representative and alternate. Do we have a nomination? Vice Chair, you're recognized.
I was just going to say I'm willing to serve on it again this year.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, wonderful. I
second that
we
nomination.
do need an alternate. Oh, okay, but just a little out of order. But I nominate Vice Chair.
I second it.
Okay, we don't need a second, but it's nice to have. So there you go. Any other nominations?
I would like to nominate Member Salamanca for the alternate.
Well, we're going to take one at a time.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So, all right, any other nominations? Seeing none, nominations are closed. All in favor of Member Gallo as the solely nominated member of the board, please say aye.
Aye.
Member Gould? She's thinking about it.
Aye. No, I'm
Member
not.
Ferrant? I'm kidding. Member Ferrant?
Aye.
Okay, that's unanimous. Now, for an alternate, is there a nomination for the alternate?
I would love to nominate Member Salamanca. I think she would be great at advocacy.
Member Salamanca, would you accept the nomination?
I'll accept.
Okay. Any other, just for formality, any other nominations for the position of alternate for the FSBA advocacy representative? Seeing none, close the nominations. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Member Gould?
Aye.
Member Ferrant?
Aye.
There we go. Unanimous. Congratulations, but more than that, thank you. Thank you both.
Thank you both for your service. Yes. Love it.
Okay. Dr. Armbruster, do you have a superintendent's report?
No, not this evening.
All right, thank you. Ms. Emvald, do you have a report? Okay. Then we will go to board committee reports, and we have a report from our legislative chair, Vice Chair Gallo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll make it quick. We did have a committee meeting today, a legislative committee meeting today, where we discussed our priorities, and we also discussed our priorities that were on our platform last year and the wins that we got from them. So we are working on our platform now. So if anybody of the public has any input into what will be on our legislative platform, I suggest that you email us with your suggestions. We'll be working over that last 2 months. I think we're going to come back at the end of August, beginning of September. Everybody on the board is encouraged to read over our current platform items and submit suggestions to Mr. Lagash as soon as possible. And then Mr. Lagash and Mr. Howitt will look at the platform as well and provide some ideas. It's going to be a very fluid document this year because some of the legislation that passed, we don't know how it will affect our school district until we open schools. So once we do that, we may have to make some tweaks and changes, but we're looking to get it done as soon as possible. The first committee week is September 1st. That is my report.
All right, thank you. Any other items? Member Casterdental, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wanted to address something that has been brought up in our meetings, in our pre-agendas, a number of times, and it was brought up again today, and that is when members of the public are upset or disagree strongly with one of the members of the school board, and they ask us to remove one of our members. And not only is that not possible, but I wouldn't want to do that anyway. These are elected members. We don't have the authority to remove a member, and I wouldn't want, if I was the lone voice with my own opinion on a board, I don't think it would be right for the members of a board to vote me out. So I need to make sure that that's out there, that we don't have the authority, nor do we want that authority, and that the only person who has that authority to remove us from our position is the governor. So I just want to kind of put that notion to rest if we can. That doesn't mean that we agree, and that's okay. We don't have to agree with other members of the board. It doesn't mean that things that other members say is appropriate or not. We have our own code of ethics, but we don't police one another. And the only other way to make a change on the board is for an election and making sure that voters are informed and get out to vote. And that's the process that we follow. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Castrodental, for helping to clarify that. Member Salamanca.
Yeah, I want to double down on that as well. And I know it's many are student voices who are coming here expressing their concern, and I think they have a voice too, and I want to hear them, but there is a democratic process, and folks are elected by their constituents, and I also would not want to be the lone voice who is being told by members that they're going to try everything to be removed. I do not support that, and I'm a strong believer in, one, the First Amendment rights to say what you believe, and second, in our democracy and our ability to elect our officials and our officials to serve that role. I think it's important for folks to continue communicating and voicing their concerns in the way that they can. But I agree. I think it's important for this board to make it clear that we are not trying to kick each other out just because we disagree with each other's views. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Salamanca. Any other comments before Member Felder? Sorry about this.
I am so glad, Board Member Castellanos, that you wanted to discuss that, and I think we're all on the same page as it relates to that. But it's so important that members of our constituency understand how this works. We all have equal power. Nobody's the boss of anybody. And you said it so clearly, but I'm going to reiterate it. Voting removes or put people in. When you are an elected officer, that is how you are removed, by voting. So I'm so happy that too bad the room is not as full as it was, to help people understand how that really works. That this is a democracy. We live in a democracy. We do our best to try to practice good democracy, and that's how it happens. So thank you so much for bringing that out, because I think sometimes when we are approached, when we're spoken to, it appears that the people that are talking what our roles are in terms of our position as elected officials. So thank you. I just wanted to add my little 2 cents. Thank you for bringing it out.
And let me add my 2 cents. I often explain to people when they ask why school board, I explain how extremely important public education is. There's nothing there's nothing that public education doesn't touch. And there are so many problems that public education can solve. And the absence of it could literally wreak havoc. A civilized society becomes quickly uncivilized when people cannot provide for themselves. Law and order, military, those are all extremely important, but foundational to everything is public education. But beyond that, when you have a representative democracy like we have, where we vote democratically and then those people represent us, but we don't vote on every decision, that we rely on them to vote on those decisions. When you have this form of government, which is more fragile than most people recognize, if you look at history of governments that have risen and fallen, and you see that we are still in our infancy. And one of the things that's two things that I think are absolutely essential for what I consider to be the best form of government in the world, not perfect, but the best that we have, is trust and an educated, informed electorate. We need our students to learn to be independent thinkers, to not believe everything they hear. We need, more than ever, we need our students challenging everything they're hearing, because there are so many things, so much information coming at you, and now we have artificial intelligence to make it all that much more complicated. So in order for us to elect the right people in office, it's all about the electorate. And the electorate has to be incredibly, frankly, savvy to decipher right from wrong, honesty from falsehoods, facts from fiction. And the other thing that our students need to have in order to be effective in their advocacy, because I can get real depressed about where we are until I walk into a school and I see the passion and I realize, and the passion for good things, the passion for the things that were to change the things that were so wrong in my generation, that I become optimistic. But in order for our students to become effective advocates, they do have to learn how things work. They have to learn where the problem is and who can help them solve it, and how to create allies instead of creating enemies out of people that are actually on their side. And that's where civics is important. So it's like one commonality I have with the state, thinking we should be teaching civics. We should, and we should teach it in a real world way, because our students are quickly going to be deciding who runs our country, who runs our school boards, who runs the state, and we need really smart people voting. So, to the handful that we have in the audience that you are mentoring, we're counting on you guys, and we're counting on your entire generation. Yes. So whatever you can do in the projects you're working on to help us better understand how we can help our students learn to be those critical thinkers, to challenge everything that they hear, but also to learn the processes so they can figure out who the villains are and who the heroes are, and who's somewhere in between and apathetic, and you just need to, light a fire under them. We'll look to you for a lot of guidance. Thank you. Okay, Member Castrodano.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just to follow up, in stating about our ability or our authority as a board to remove a member, I just wanted to address that issue directly because it has come up, but I don't want to minimize the real concern that members of the public bring to us, whether it's an email or at the mic in front of us, or talking to us or calling us. I share a lot of their concerns. I understand the fear. I understand a lot of the threats that we're facing and that a lot of our students and teachers and people are facing living in Florida. So I don't want to confuse the issue that I'm just saying we're not going to get rid of anybody. I'm just saying that is not our process, but that there are ways to continue to speak up. I welcome members of the public to keep speaking up and letting us know what they will not tolerate. I think that's important that we hear their voices. Just want to make sure that they know what limits we have. I know another point that some of our speakers make is that we follow, as a board, the Robert's Rules of Order. And within that, within those rules, they state that there is a process for removing a board member. And I think that they have used that as a method for us to have that authority. And I'm trying to figure out when I talk to them about how that's a procedural process that we follow, but we're not bound by Robert's rules in a sense that it doesn't grant us authority that we don't have. So there's some confusion there as well. I think we've had some speakers explain that or address us with that. So I don't know if Ms. Enball
when
can
you
address
say we're
that.
not bound by, I'd like to hear from legal because I don't think we have that authority.
So your policy under your governance policy. It requires that you follow the Robert's Rules of Order. You have some more specific provisions in your policy that you're going to follow, which would be your code of civility in there, and all you have the board member's code of conduct. You also have a provision in there how to censure a board member. When you're speaking back to Robert's Rule of Order, it usually centers around the unruly member at meetings. And I don't know if you've ever seen some of the you've seen some examples. I have some videos I could probably share with you that are interesting. But usually where it's a controversial issue that's debated, some members may get so excited and talk out of turn and continually seek the floor. And so it's usually the Robert's Rules governs the unruly member at meetings. I have not seen that here, but there are procedures, and there's if the chair would then have the responsibility to call out the member that's acting unruly. If that member does not stop the behavior, then the chair would direct the secretary, who's the superintendent, to record for the minutes that member so-and-so was being unruly. And there are penalties. Some of those penalties under Robert's Rules are the member must apologize, the member must leave during the remainder of the meeting, you could censure the member. So there's a number of different things that could happen. But your more specific policy would govern in that particular case with respect to censure or whatever. You really do not have the authority to, I mean, I haven't seen anywhere where it's been like an unruly meeting or anything like that.
Thank you. Not from the board.
Not from the board.
Yes, not from the board. And I thank you for that clarification. And then one more point I wanted to make is that one time we did have a speaker address us, asking us to denounce extremist groups and their views. And during that pre-agenda, it's not really the time for us to respond. And I, of course, denounce these hate groups and groups that are not acting in the best interest of our public schools and our society. So I know I denounce them, and I do not support them, and I'm concerned with the level of attention that they're getting. So I wanted to address those issues when I had an opportunity to. So thank you.
Thank you. General Counsel, you're done? Yes? Okay. That's okay. Member Byrd.
Thank you, Chair. If I could just follow up on something with General Counsel. We've heard a lot about, I've heard a lot about censure. Can you just explain what that would do?
So your board policy B actually specifically discusses censure. Board policy B is titled governance. School board governance, sorry. And under this last section in the policy, it is titled, hang on just a second, getting there. Process for addressing board member violations. And it reads as follows. The board is committed to faithful compliance with the provision of the board's policies. In the event of a member's willful and continuing violation of policy, the board will seek remedy by the following process. Number 1 is conversation in a posted meeting between the offending member and the board chair or other individual member. Number 2, discussion in a posted work session between the offending member and the full board. And number 3, public censure of the offending member of the board.
Go ahead. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, public censure. Can you explain for the public what that would do?
So it would probably be something along the lines, board member so-and-so, I didn't like the way that you continually are unruly and disruptive in a meeting, and the board is expecting your behavior to change, and this is your public censure.
Okay, so it's just a public slap
Yes.
on the wrist.
Yes, there's no other.
There's
authority beyond
no
that.
other action that the board can
No.
do, not, or that we would want to probably, but no other action the board can take.
We have some other things under Robert's Rules of Order, like I said, removing them from that particular meeting. And then Robert's Rules of Order also does have a more robust censure provision, but there's nothing else you all can do as a board.
Even if we changed our policies, because that's another thing that's been said, we need to change our policies.
Even
then.
if you changed your
There is no
policies,
policy we can put in place that would
No.
change that.
And if you are going to limit a any board member's speech, it would be a little bit of a challenge because that would be the First Amendment protections that would come out, and then the board would be subject to potential challenge to that as well.
Right. And even if we did try to do that, which we wouldn't, but even if we did, and they violated that, as we said, there's nothing more than the censure, which is the slap on the wrist. Thank you for that clarification.
Vice Chair Gallo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I was just going to, I think, reiterate what Member Byrd just said, because there was a lot of comments about us having a policy on social media. Even if we had a policy, and I'm not a big believer in legislating from social media, most of my posts have only to do with my schools and students. As Member Byrd just mentioned, and our General Counsel, Mrs. Invall, there's nothing, even if we had a school board policy, which I don't think any of us are in favor for on social media, if someone were to violate that policy, there is no way for us to do anything about it. Like, we have no authority, there's no consequence. And so I'm not a big believer in having a policy to where there's no consequence for it, and we're trying to censure elected officials. That's just, that you can't do that. It's First Amendment rights. And so it's really just a covenant upon each of us we each have the right to post and to do what we feel is best and what we feel is right. And the community has a right to tell us how they feel about that and communicate with us. But the best that we could do is listen to them. And then that's it. Like, that's where our authority ends. So thank you, Dr. Kessler-Gentle, for bringing it up, because I do think that needs to be clarified, because there's a lot of people getting mad at us, getting mad at the board, thinking that we have authority that we just don't have to do something about things that we just can't do about anything about. So thank you.
One question. So right now, board members have access to post things on social media that has the OCPS brand, and I'm not sure. I can see the possibility of something being posted that everyone would agree should not be associated with OCPS. So is it necessary for us to have social media accounts that have the OCPS logo suggesting that by virtue of it being posted from OCPS that it is in some way supported, backed, validated by being there?
So one thing I might want to suggest, we can certainly put in some guidelines. There might be, most of the time when you have a social media page, you have a page that you're listed under as a politician. And so it's a separate page. And since you all control your own social media pages at this moment, you probably have what is referred to as the politician page. I could certainly draft some draft language that you could put on their pages that specifically say any opinions here are mine only, and they do not reflect the opinion of the board as a whole, because it doesn't, nor does it reflect the views of the district. That might be helpful. It's helpful to the reader who's reading it, think, oh, the so-and-so said that it has to be, so that must be it. It's helpful to the reader. It's also helpful to you all, because you have First Amendment rights to free speech. And it would be helpful to you all to say, look, this is my opinion. I mean, that's why you were elected, based on your opinions and what you were going to do for the school board. And I would be happy to draft that for each of you on your social media accounts if you'd like.
Please. Okay. Anything else from board members at this time? Okay. Member Kessler-Dental, thank you for bringing this conversation up to light. Yeah. Appreciate it, though. I do. Okay, with that, 7:01, meeting's adjourned.